Well, we've seen a steady stream of reaction to word of this pause in fighting and a deal for hostages. Let's stay in the Middle East. Reporter Rebecca Collard has an update from Beirut on the regional response.
Really, we've seen this agreement welcomed by most Arab countries, Arab foreign ministers. We know that the King of Jordan is on his way today to Egypt to discuss with the Egyptian president a way to make this, pause in fighting turn into a lasting ceasefire. I will say, the Egyptian, Saudi, and Jordanian foreign ministers were in London today. They spoke about this agreement being reached, talked about the importance, of course, of having this pause, of allowing aid into the Gaza Strip. But the other thing that we have heard again and again from Arab foreign ministers over the last weeks is that, a pause isn't enough. They want to see a full ceasefire. And even more important than that, Mariana, they say the important thing is finding an actual solution to the underlying issues that cause this conflict, that led us into this war. So, they're talking about, of course, the end of Israel's occupation of the West Bank, the siege on Gaza, and moving toward the two-state solution that was promised under the Oslo Accords 30 years ago and still hasn't been realized. So Palestinian sovereignty, a just solution to this conflict are important because they keep stressing that otherwise what we're going to see is, even if this conflict has ended now, we're going to see another conflict. So that's really what we've been hearing from the region. I will say on the, maybe not quite on the other side, but Iran's foreign minister is actually here in Lebanon. He spoke to journalists as well. And he talked about, he seemed to be kind of feeling that this was a moment of victory, the way that he spoke about it. And he said that, Palestinians would be the ones that would decide their fate. So a bit of mixed reaction, but mostly what we're hearing from this region is happy that there will be at least a pause and humanitarian aid will enter, Mariana.
But ahead of that pause, as we know, clashes are still ongoing at the border of Israel and Lebanon. So is this deal going to have any impact on that?
Yeah, that's a really great and I think a very important question because we've been so worried about a second front opening here. And I will say, Hezbollah, of course, was not part of these negotiations. These negotiations were between Israel and Hamas, and the ceasefire agreement for this period of time and this hostage exchange is between them. Hezbollah is not involved. However, what we have been hearing reports of is that Hezbollah has said that they will abide by the cessation of hostilities for the next few days, as long as Israel does. So saying that they will keep the northern border of Israel, the southern border of this country, quiet unless Israel attacks southern Lebanon, in which case they will respond. So we're going to have to watch very closely what's happening here tomorrow morning. And the last thing I'll say on that is that it's not even just this border that we need to watch now, because we have seen an uptick in attacks against U.S. and Israeli targets really across the region. So U.S. personnel have been attacked in Iraq by militants that are part of these groups that consider themselves the axis of resistance, so allied with Hezbollah, Hamas, Iran, as well in Syria. We've seen attacks against U.S. targets in that country, and of course also in the last days these Houthi rebels actually capturing this ship in just off the coast of Yemen. So, of course, we're going to be watching the border here as this quiet hopefully falls over Gaza. But we're also going to have to watch these various other countries where we've seen this uptick in attacks, Marianne.
Rebecca Collard reporting from Beirut.